What's up, witches? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Luna, and I am a priestess and a witch, and I have a bit of a problem with tarot and oracle decks. As I shoot on this August 11th, 2022, the collection stands at, I think it's 341. No signs of slowing down yet, but I'm here to unbox one of these decks for you on an Oracle Friday, and the deck is the Shadowland Lenormand. Now this, talk about quirky, adorable. This was a birthday present from a dear family friend, Justin, and it's called the Shadowland Lenormand by Monica Badursky. We have a magnety kind of box, and we have Shadowland Lenormand. On the bottom it says, each card holds not just an archetypal Lenormand symbol, but also either characters or characteristics that seem to add an extra layer of meaning to every one of my readings. And that's from Erica Robinson Lenormand, expert diviner and author. Interesting that they put, you know, like the blurbs, review blurbs on the actual box. And here's the other end of the box. It says retail $24.99 in the US. A deck for shadows and light. Fear of what we can't see has the ability to conjure images of hungry beasts ready to pounce from the shadows. Yet it is within the shadows where hidden truth is revealed. Become acquainted with the shadow aspects of our archetypal personalities through the playful and quirky ink and watercolor creatures that compose this 36-card Lenormand deck and accompanying guidebook. So this is a traditional Lenormand deck of 36 cards. There are, I know, several to many extended Lenormands out there, and one of them is the Golden Reverie Lenormand, which is a Ciro Marchetti deck. It has 40 cards, but this is the standard 36. So let's go in. Let's read about Monica. I appreciate that they have the authors and artist blurb like right there in the beginning, because I like to know about the authors. Monica Badursky, BDES. I don't know what, bachelor's of something, I don't know, and in parentheses she, her, so she gives us her pronouns, is a first-generation Canadian artist, author, and practitioner of the mystical arts, and is of Northern and Eastern European heritage. She identifies as a settler gratefully living in Toronto, on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit Nation, the Anishinaabe, Wendat, Chippewa, Haudenosaunee, Métis, and Inuit people. Informed by an inherited gift for advising and seership, she's passionate about making creative tools that foster self-awareness, empowerment, and earth-based spirituality. She is the artist and author of several oracle decks, including the Shadowland Tarot. Oh! And is the founder of the Witch Fest North Arts and Cultural Festival, CATS, which is Coffee and Tarot Society, I like that, and the International Museum of Mystical Arts. A sought-after international speaker and consultant, she currently resides in an enchanted home with her life partner, Alan. Now, I do appreciate that, though she is not of native blood, she's European descent, that she is acknowledging who lived on the territory that is now Toronto. So I do appreciate that. We have 2 black cards. I have no idea. And then we have the book, and we have, ooh, the gilded deck. It's weird to have a ribbon thing go this way, but that's cool. There we go. Click. Okay. Let's take a little look at the book first. And we have another blurb in the inside cover. Out of hundreds of Lenormand options, Shadowland Lenormand has become the only deck for me. What keeps me returning? Key ingredients that turn an art deck into a workhorse. Easy card identification in both large and small spreads. The inclusion of clear titles and numbers. Thoughtful symbol placement and direction. and of course the deck's delightfully dark illustrations which pinpoint and give voice to life's hidden shadows. This deck is a gem that I predict you too will find yourself returning to time and again. And that was Carrie Paris, author of the Relative Tarot, Siren Song Lenormand, and the Magpie Oracle casting kits. Magpie Oracle casting kits. This is published by Red Feather, and 2021 is the copyright date. Okay, first appearing is the Black and White House of Shadows Lenormand. This version's been redrawn, inked, and painted with an expanded and updated booklet that includes a series of reflection questions for each card. That's nice. The art, aside from its color, is different from standard Lenormand cards because no single card is seen as strictly positive, negative, or neutral. Interesting. Card descriptions that follow include a section on each card's shadow, which is an aspect of the card you may not normally see. Okay. Please tell me what the black cards are, please. They're bigger, and then we go straight into the cards. They are bigger than the deck. Why? All right, let me see at the end if we've got... So we go through the cards, and with each we have a picture, a description, keywords, shadow, and message. Then, so the message is long, and then we have reflection questions. Single card reading, 2 card spread for shadows, 3 card spreads, ancestral inspiration, 9 card blockbuster, and the Le Grand Tableau. All right, conclusion. I am disappointed. I want to know why these are here. They're so obvious, you know. It's kind of like the is it Rockpool? No, it's Blue Angel, that you open the box and there's always going to be just a piece of paper, a random piece of paper. Here's one of them in every Blue Angel deck. Why? But these are even weirder. I mean, just they're thick cardboard and they're black, and I don't get it. Help. Oh well, in we go. Okay, here are the backs of the cards as you've been looking at, and they're adorable. Look at the little bats. Right away I think of Edwin Gorey. The Gashly Crumb Tinies and all those little very dark looking children's things that he did. Children's things about children. I love the gilding. All right, let's go in. Rider. So we have these very insecty little creatures. They remind me of Edwin Gorey. They also remind me of Maurice Sendak, you know, where the wild things are. So here's the rider, definitely heading in a direction. Here's Clover. Interesting that it's like a little mask, and they're holding hands. So there's definitely, I mean, the Clover is a being and holding the hand of a child and then holding the hand of a bag of money. Interesting. There's the ship with a giant jellyfish coming up underneath it. Again, it's definitely heading in a direction that way. Here's House. I would call that a haunted house. Oh, they like to stick together. I think that's just static. Here's Tree. And we've got little cobwebs and a bat and a swing. Clouds. And again, I'm noticing she does retain traditional Lenormand features, such as here's the dark side of the clouds, here's the light side of the cloud. These things definitely matter in Lenormand, especially when you're doing, you know, more than a 2-card spread. When you have a grid, the direction of things, how close things are in proximity. So if I've got a line of cards here, what's on the dark side of the clouds is going to have a much more negative meaning to it than what's on the light side of the clouds. Snake, and it's a fatty. Woohoo! Then we have Coffin. Look at, she's waving a little flag. There's a book and a flag, and Or is that a hand? That's her hands up in the air. Wow. What the heck? Then we have bouquet. Scythe. Look how cute they are. I mean, they're just darkly cute. Brooms. Not just broom, but brooms. Birds. Child, whose head is a balloon. Fox. With a chicken mask on, and this little girl holding a chicken. Very interesting. A chicken, not just a mask, but a costume. Wow. Bear. Star. Look at the little buildings with the satellite dishes. Would you like to swing on a star? Here's the stork. Look at the boots. I mean, they're just very fun. And here's a dog, which is an insect with a dog mask. And then there's this kid that looks like he's wearing a mask too, maybe. Here's the tower, which has a very different meaning in Lenormand than it does in Tarot. You know, Tarot, the lightning struck tower is about things kind of crashing and burning, things being disrupted, the structure of things being disrupted. This talks about success, building something up from the ground. Here's garden. I just love the creatures. Mountain. Those are either two big boulders or holes in the mountain. Don't know. Crossroads. Meet the devil at the crossroads. That's great. Mice. The heart. Aw. Ring. Book. Bleak House by Charles Dickens. Look at the hand on the wall. Letter. Man. A woman. Oops. Lily. Sun. Moon. Another mask. Key. Fish. Surrealist vibe there. Anchor. And cross. All right. Back out we go. Okay, now it is time. Whoopsie, I didn't put a charcoal up. It is time to dedicate this deck. So we'll clean it up and dust it off. Dust it off. Not sure what that means. Here we go. So, be blessed by air and fire. You should know, if you don't, that I am not a practiced Lenormand reader. I have little experience with it. I'm amazed with it. I'm usually, I spend a little bit of time here and there just kind of deepening. I've found, can't think of the name of it right now, but I've found a really good channel that teaches beginning Lenormand, and it's such a straightforward system, really. So I've just blessed with water and earth, and now we wake up the spirit with the bell. And I light my charcoal. I'm sitting here racking my brain trying to figure out a question to ask, because Lenormand cartomantic style decks like this do best with the type of question, what's going to happen, or tell me about a specific thing, not just spiritual sort of general things. So I'm sort of wrestling with that. In the meantime, let's say welcome to my guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you for being here. Help me see this deck clearly and help us communicate. Thank you so much. I offer fresh water, and I offer the spirit of divination, the fire of Azrael. The best smell in the world. If you wonder what that is, search my channel for Fire of, and it should come up, the Fire of Azrael. So now I'm going to do just a little cut shuffle. I do want to try a regular shuffle, but since they're gilded, if you don't have a bunch of decks, you might not know this, but gilded decks have these, have thicker cardstock, because in order to gild an edge, you have to have a thick enough edge, you know, for the gilding to stick, and it's got to be a flat edge. So the edges of the cards are sharp, and this kind of shuffling with a small deck like this is not bad, but that kind of shuffling with a big deck, ouch. And just, you know, kind of impossible to begin with because the cards are stiff. But ooh, this one shuffles nicely, I have to say. All right, what are we going to ask? I guess I'm going to have to go topical here, as much as I hate to do it. I mean, I used to do topical readings all the time, and then I shifted to just, you know, something that everybody can use anytime they watch the video, which is how do we go from survival mode into thriving. Let's ask, I think, about something that really is going to affect everyone, so I'll stay away from the political, and ask about climate. Ask about climate change and the Earth herself. And first of all, let me pick a reading size so the deck knows. We're certainly not doing a Grand Tableau. We're not doing a 9 card, 3 card. Ancestral inspiration. I use this layout when faced with choices that are more intricate and when I feel the need to call upon the strength of ancestors for clarity. I use the term ancestors to refer to family or community that stretches back to the dawn of existence. First card signifies the cause, the second, the challenge, the third, the suggestion your ancestors are offering as a resolution. Okay. And then there's a mind, body, spirit one for seeking balance. 3 cards. First, on the left, signifies your body and how your health is at the moment. The second, where your current state of mind is, and the third, how your spiritual health is. Okay, so let's just tailor. Let's tailor this to what we're looking at. There's also this 2-card shadow spread, the shadow that you're not recognizing and the solution to or advice for that shadow. No, let's do the ancestors one. The cause of the situation, challenge in the middle, and suggestion on the right. So, oopsie, a little bit of charcoal mess there. So we are asking our ancestors for your wisdom on climate change as we have another summer where heat records are being broken in Northern Europe and in the United States and have been broken in summer on the other end of the globe. So we want to ask about climate change. And I would like them taken off the top, please. Okay, they want to stop. So the first one is the cause of the situation. Then we have the challenge, suggestion the ancestors are offering as a resolution. Okay, let's look them up. So the key says a flying night spirit carries a large key. The keywords are knowledge, access, responsibility, solution, opportunities, breakthrough, insight, and epiphany. So, you know, the question for this was the cause. The shadow says ignorance, inaccessibility, elitism, systemic prejudice, denying access, and secrets. Um, this is wonderful. This is really wonderful. I appreciate this woman because that first set of keywords is the traditional. The key says you have the ability to open something, so it gives you access. It is the key piece of information you need to solve a problem. So you get resolution and access and all those kind of things. But when she's talking about the shadow, she's talking about not having access and elitism to where only certain people have access. Systemic prejudice. Everyone else can get in, you get locked out. You don't have the key. So this, as the cause of the situation, I think that ignorance and elitism, pardon me, certainly is part of it. The fact that it's been so difficult to get our Congress, who is, chock-a-block full of elites, to look at this problem and see that humans contribute. There are certainly natural processes at work. The magnetic poles are migrating, and this happens every so often on planet Earth. But we need to acknowledge the human component and what we can do to lessen our impact. So ignorance and denial, well, it says denying access. Message, you will be given access to a space, knowledge, or perhaps a promotion, and this is a positive step. Look at who is offering you the key, and remember, you don't need to accept. The key is a symbol of accessing both physical and symbolic spaces, often meaning knowledge, an epiphany, or sudden realization. The key shows up in spreads with symbols ahead or behind which specifically point to the key or solution to the question presented. So she's headed this way. So the key here was in the past. The key here was, we should have stopped a long time ago. So what I'm seeing here is just a statement of we have let this go too long in our ignorance, because the key is looking to the past. Reflection questions. What knowledge are you seeking? What things are inaccessible for you? What realizations have occurred to you recently? Well, the realization that we're a day late and many, many, many dollars short, many days late. Okay, so the next one is the second from the left, indicates your challenge, and that is brooms. Brooms talk about cleanup. They talk about the sweeping away of something. They can also talk about, and most of the time it's a whip and a broom, right? They could talk about repeated actions. All right. A witch and her cat hold brooms to clear away debris. The keywords are cleaning, sweeping out unwanted energies, decluttering, boundaries, and banishing. Shadow is poor boundaries, clearing out the positive with the negative, so throwing out the baby with the bathwater, clean sweep, imposing your energies onto others, sweeping your stuff over to them maybe, and hoarding. Interesting, because who needs more than one broom, is how I relate to that. The message is time to clear out your environment and rid yourself of everything that is clutter in your life. You may be perceived harshly for it, but defining clear boundaries in all of your relationships may be more important to your overall health than whether you are perceived as nice. People, objects, and self-defeating thoughts or behaviors need to be swept away to make room for fresh and healthier ways of being. Ding, ding, ding. That's our challenge. Remember to use your discretion and not to accidentally clear out the good with the bad. So yes, that is our challenge, is we've got people, objects, self-defeating thoughts and behaviors. We have all of the obstructionists in Congress here in the U.S. and elsewhere in the world that are climate change deniers, that are refusing to do anything that could take away profit from the petrochemical industry. You know, it always is a mind blower to me that these obscenely wealthy people that are continuing to make obscene profits off of the petrochemical industries do not see the future of renewable energies and just invest heavily in that and get in on the ground floor. I don't understand. But it's a lack of imagination. Ignorance is a problem. Again, this is the only way. Our way's the only way. And all they can think about is losing money, that they're going to lose money rather than what's to be made. Reflection questions what physical areas need clearing in your life, what behaviors no longer serve your psychological needs. Are there relationships in your life that need to be reevaluated? Yes, our relationships with our elected officials. They need to go. Clean sweep. So that's our challenge, looking at what needs to go and getting them out of the way. And also what needs to go as far as our behaviors, our own behaviors, as far as how many cars do you have, how much do you drive, do you have gas guzzling vehicles, what kind of pollution do they put out? It stands to reason that the more gas your auto uses, the more exhaust you're putting into the air. And yeah, all the rest that goes with that. And then the last one is the suggestion your ancestors are offering as a resolution to your situation, and we have heart. Wow. A flying night spirit carries a heart that has been wounded and repaired many times. The keywords are love, compassion, emotion, lasting relationships. The shadow is ignoring grief and heartache, infatuation, fear of vulnerability. The message is love is important, but don't give your heart away or let someone steal it. We are much stronger than we feel, and our hearts have survived tremendous loss and sorrow. The scars are a testament to our resilience and experiences. Consider who you love right now and make sure you let them know. Whether romantic or platonic, love and deep compassion are coming your way when you pull this card. The reflection questions are, do you hide the wounds in your heart? 2 is, when do you feel safe to share your heart's desire? And 3 is, where do you place most of your love and compassion? So this, love, compassion, emotion, what we need to do is realize or create an emotional connection with our planet. Many of us, particularly pagans and witches, already have a deep connection to the planet because she's our goddess. She's a goddess. She's a living being. And we love her dearly. And when she suffers, we suffer. So that's what it's saying. The solution here from our ancestors is, stop looking at the earth as an inanimate object and love her like the living being that she is. And when you recognize your connection to her, in that if she cannot provide for us, we don't survive. We have this intimate connection, but we need to recognize it. And look at how this being is facing and offering the heart back here. So, that tells me that the people that are like obstructing and in the way, the people that are challenging, are the ones that really need to feel this connection. And we need to demonstrate that connection to them. They're screaming at me to take 2 more cards, you guys, just as a pair on their own. Okay, so this Tower talks about things that are in place for a long time, success, institutions, strength, success, accountability, leadership, longevity, ethical authority. The shadow is abuse of power, isolation, ego, fear of responsibility, and bad loss. And here comes the writer. Writer says, incoming. Writer says there's information coming. Something is moving in, and look at the way it's headed. Message, messenger, communication, speed, delivery, new romance, passion. The shadow is fleeting, impulsive, reckless thoughts, words, or actions. So there is that sense of that recklessness coming in to this abuse of power. But I think that there's just a lot of information coming in around the abuse of power, about the abuse of power on this. So these institutions are about to get a big influx of information that can be house. I mean, house is about the earth, it's about where we live, right? The fact that the earth is our home. And it's not about success. We have gone so far wrong with, in our capitalist society, that success is everything, but we define success so narrowly as having as much money as it's humanly possible to get your mitts on, But success to me is people living their fullest lives in, abundance, where we know everyone has enough, but we don't have the concept of enough in our culture. We have the concept of everything I can get, obscene wealth. So anyway, I'm not going to go further with this, but I really appreciate the shadow side of these cards. I feel like I need to take a step back and work more with straight up Lenormand, and then I can add information to it. But certainly readable, certainly adorable. I think this would get added to my adorable oracle decks if I redid that video at any time. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out unboxing videos a couple times a week and live stream readings for the collective every Wednesday, and occasionally some weekend lives that are prayer circles. So search my channel, check out the playlist. There are literally hundreds of videos for you to look at. Thanks for sticking around. I will see you next time, and until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.